Okay, so my project 3 is on motivating students to learn. It's chapter 10, and I am Madison Michaels. I just want to start off saying that I chose motivating students to learn as my project because I see it a lot in my classroom or a lack thereof. And we'll talk about that as I go on. Okay, so my definition of motivation is just like the driving force that keeps our students pushing forward. So it's just like the internal little mechanism inside them that keeps them saying, I want to keep going, I want to learn more, I want to see how far I can get. Motivation can stem from many different places. First, I put a student because we can motivate ourselves. We can be motivated on the inside just all the time, pushing to do the best, pushing forward. And a lot of people are that way, but not everyone is. My second picture, I put a picture of a family because families can motivate you. In my life, my family motivated me a lot. My dad was always on me. Always do your best. Always try your hardest. School's number one. He always pushed me and pushed me hard. And so that helped to motivate me every day, every year, and all through these college years. And I think family plays a big role in students' motivation because I find that in the district I work in and in my classroom, some of the families might not motivate their students as much as they could, whether that's because they're working too much or they just don't think about it, but I can see the lack of motivation in that student. And that's why I posted the third picture, which is a picture of a teacher. And as teachers, it is our job to motivate our students. We can motivate them to push forward, to do their best, and I try to do that on a daily basis. So there are different ways to motivate your students. And number one, I put attitude. You know, if you come in with a crummy attitude, they're going to have a crummy attitude, and that's not helping motivate them to learn. That's not helping them in any way. I try to really build up my students. I'm thinking of one in particular. She doesn't have much motivation because she already counts herself out. She already assumes that she can't do it. And I really try to pump her up. I let her know that she can do it, and I can see it start to motivate her. And I also put class rewards. I don't mean this as in candy. I mean, that could be motivation, but it's not something I do. I think of like, for example, people do like classroom coupons, like, um, get X amount of points from doing all these great class works. You get to wear a hat to school or you get to sit at the teacher's desk. And the third thing I found in our book was talking about their curiosity, striking their curiosity, doing things that make them wonder, what is that? Or how did she do that? How could I do that? And that motivates them to learn and to seek out different things and not just stay, in their aspect. And the last thing I put was just visual charts, and I put stars. And so, for example, I think of my school. We're talking about trying to motivate students to try their hardest in their iReady testing, and we talked about putting up charts in the classroom to show them how they've progressed since school started, to motivate them to keep pushing and keep going and go hard. And that's just something visual so they know where they're at so they can keep pushing, keep going. And I wanted to end my presentation with a quote that I found that I absolutely love, and I'm going to start telling my students. And it says, don't let what you cannot do interfere with what you can do. And I think that that's something we could all teach our students.